Hi, my name is Sey from Sey Studios. I make lively and whimsical art. Today I'm going to show you how to make your own paper sticker sheet, which is super fun because I make a lot of them for my shop and I want to show you how to do it too, along with how to cut around the edge, and you don't have to use your paper cutter for it. It's all together. It's amazing. Let me show you. All right, so first you're gonna wanna create your design. So for me, I have this colored version, but I wanna use line art for my paper stickers because I just think it's cuter. So what I did is I traced it and now I have my art. I'm gonna copy that and bring it into another file, which is sized to the sticker sheet size that I'm going for. For me, it's 4x6. So you can simply make that by going to your canvas and making a new canvas with the size. Just make sure you click inches if you're inches, and pixels or centimeters, millimeters, whatever you're using, use the size specifications that you want, and always make it a little bit bigger. That's called the bleed line. So for me, if I was going to make a sticker sheet, I do 4.25. Having that 0.25 inch bleed allows for me to cut it easily, or at least have the Cricut cut it for me and not have that white edge we don't want. Okay, so now we have our blank canvas, so to speak, and what you want to do is you want to copy and paste your art that you just did, copy and paste it here, and then size it down to about what you think. Probably a little bit bigger than what you think a sticker would be. Remember, the highest point is 6.25, so this is going to be about 3 inches, which is a bit too big for my type of stickers because I make stickers for planners when they're like this. So I will kind of make it a little bit smaller and place it. And as you make more art, all you do is copy and paste it, and each one on a different layer. So I'm going to show you what I ended up doing as I copy and pasted all that. I sized everything down to the size I would like, and these are all the little pieces of art that I made for my sticker sheet. It's a lot, it covers a lot. There's some obviously that I took out because I'm seeing as I'm tapping it, there we go, that was not what I did, and here it all is laid out. Oops, there we go. Good to go. You see that? So the next part is after I laid it out here, I left a space, and this is optional. You do not need this top part. I personally like it because it helps filing, but or just seeing it looks like a nice little branded package. So what I did is I created a new layer here, and I just added a line of any color you would think of. So now you have your colored block, and what I do here is I click on the little wrench tool and I add text. And if you click on this part, this is the keyboard, so show keyboard, and you can type out what you want this text to say, and you can actually get it to plug in there. So I've already done this, so I'm actually gonna delete this part, and there it is. I've titled what it is and what the style is there. Some people use like coding for numbers and all of that. I need to get there. I'm not there yet because as your inventory grows with all your different designs, so you don't get confused and it's easier for ordering. Again, I'm not there. I would probably put it here or something. And then I put my logo on there just like that. That's literally all I want to do for all that design. So the next part is I'm going to turn off the background layer here. So you just see the lines here. And I'm going to turn off the top part that we just did, all right? So you're just gonna see the drawn designs. This is where it's interesting. So what I wanna do is all of this is on separate layers, okay? I want to go to my wrench tool and copy the canvas, which is gonna copy everything that's here into one layer. So I'm gonna copy the canvas and then paste it, okay? That's going to basically compile it all together. So I've turned off all the separate images here. And then now right here in I'm zooming in, but this one has all the line art by itself. So, oops, almost all the line art. I left one on, there it is. Okay, so it has all the line art by itself. I'm going to turn off the background again, boop, just like that, and create a new layer. Hold on a second, right here, a blank layer, just this little plus sign. I'm gonna make sure this blank layer right here, hold on, I'm gonna use my finger to move it down. Sometimes it'll get stuck, so I just keep my pencil away. And then I'm gonna move this layer underneath the line art All right, that's key, okay? The next part is we're gonna change the color of our brush to pure white because, and I'll tell you why, just a second. We're gonna go to recent, and I always use Studio Pen because it has the smoothest edges, which works well with the Cricut, and making sure I'm on that layer. You can label it if you want. I'm gonna zoom in and I'm going to outline a shape around all of this. It doesn't have to be perfect, because it really doesn't have to be. You just make sure that there's enough edge. You can get as close as you want. I find that sometimes the calibration of my Cricut is a little off, so I always give it a little bit more of an edge. I like the bubbly look anyway. So this is gonna be just a basic shape around this design. And something to note, as you're making the shape around your design, do not have any of these tiny little cuts, because this will cause your Cricut paper to kind of like peel up. It's not Cricut paper, but the sticker paper to kind of peel up and be weird. So I try to make sure that the cut around there is pretty smooth, and it could still like have some you know, detail, but for the most part, it's really smooth. Now, this next part is easy as long as your shape is enclosed, meaning there's no separation, everything's connected. You can take the color and literally just drop it into that area. That way you don't have to worry about any, you know, like those little holes. If there's any sort of like blank spots like this, the Cricut's gonna see this and know, oh, I'm gonna cut this part out and the outer edge. You don't want that for a sticker because obviously that wouldn't work very well. So you're gonna go through and shape all of these things. So you're gonna make a shape around every single design, and then I'll show you the next step. All right, so after you have done all the white shapes, it's on a separate layer, and you have your line work layer here, you're going to merge the two together. So for me, I just take my fingers and, you know, pinch them together. I have already actually made that image. So after they're merged together, all done, the line and the shapes are on the same layer. You're going to save it by clicking on the wrench tool and clicking PNG. Now you can save it to here and drop it on your computer, or save it right to your cloud. I don't do that because I don't know why. So that's just me. Once you have that saved, I want you to turn off that layer, and you're going to turn on that line that you made at the top. You're going to turn on your background shape, which it's just white for me, right? It's all white there. I'm going to add the title that I had up here, which is that layer, and I'm going to add my logo. Now we're going to save this as a separate image as well. So go to the wrench tool, hit PNG, and then save image. Next, we are going to go to our photos, which for me is going to be like way over here somewhere. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to go to my photos, and I'm going to select the two things that I want to do. Look at that, mama. My mom stole my phone. Okay, and of course there's food in there. So we're going to send that, airdrop it to my computer, which is open and right here, and it's going to pop up in a hot second. There it is, right into my downloads area. Save everything under templates, and I'm going to label the new ones just like so I can get them in my catalog, and then we're going to take them into Cricut. So that's what's going to happen next. Like I said, I label them for my own sake, for my purposes. You don't have to do this part if it's like a one-off thing, but it really does help. All right, as you can see, I've done planner sheets before, and I'm going to create a new product because for some reason, or project, some reason you can't make these duplicates as far as I know. So I'm going to start a new one, which is good for you because I'm going to give you the step-by-steps on how the rest of this all works. All right, now that we're here, we're going to upload our images right over here on the left side. That's a little confusing on the left side. Then you're going to click on the green upload image button, green browse button, and then go to the file where you have your images that you want to use. So I'm going to upload this one, and then this will be my, like, the stickers. You can see the transparency on, and we zoom in on those little round shapes that we did. So if it doesn't show you that you saved your image wrong, it needs to be a PNG, and you have to make sure that that transparency remains, because this is where the Cricut's going to know to cut. So I'm going to click continue here. And now you have a couple different options to make, like, change things. Background remover, we don't have a background. We did it as a PNG. I don't have to reduce anything, none of that. Don't touch that. Just go to apply and continue on. So what I'm going to pick here is a flat graphic layer, and then hit continue. And then you can also label in this section. I am going to keep it there. And then I also have a folder for my designs because we have other people on this account. I clicked upload it, there it is. So we're gonna do the same thing with the other file, the background one. We're gonna go to upload, browse, and get that background layer in there. Now we've added both of these files to our Cricut board here. However, they are too big, and you can tell that by this little exclamation point in red. So we need to make them smaller. So I'm gonna click on this one right here, and I'm gonna go up to size, and I'm going to do the width. So the width of this is going to be, for me, 4 inches, and then the height is going to be 6, which it automatically does because it was linked. You don't have to unlink it. So 4 by 6 is the size I want. And then these guys are going to be a little smaller. I'm going to click on this file, and then I'm going to put 4 in the width section. It's actually going to be a little bit bigger than I want, and I need it on top. So that means I'm going to take this file, slide it on top. So now this file is going to be on top. All right, the next thing we need to do is rotate this cutie. So I'm going to go to the rotate tool, and I'm actually going to type in 270 because I want it to be facing a direction that faces this way. You can have it face the other way by just doing 90 degrees. 90 degrees will make it flip the other way. I've always done it this way. 270 is how I get it. And to get it to the top here, you actually can center it. I take it just to the corner 0, 0. But there's another way to get this to the top easier. Simply click on more and type in 0 in the X and the Y sections. And that will get it perfectly aligned where you need it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our stickers and eyeball where it's going to be. Right now it is the same width as the actual sticker background, which I don't want. I want to make it smaller. So I'm going to shrink it. I'm just going to simply get the corner and pull in. Thankfully it is locked up here, so it's not going to distort your actual file. If this is not locked, you're going to get all your images all wonky. So simply just pull it in. You want to make sure you have a border because this is the part you need to make this actually cut out the way you want. So give yourself some, what I call, like, bleed room or airspace, whatever, breathing room. So right now, if I finish this up and I sent this over to the print part, which we're not quite done, it would actually cut out the outside like a rectangle with the points. I'm not a fan of that. I like rounded corners. So let me show you how. So we're going to go over here where it says shapes and click on that, and you're going to see all these fun little shapes. Find the one that has the rounded square, okay? We're going to actually distort this, so this is going to be our friend. Click on that, and it'll come on over to this side. Don't mind the color. Right now we're just getting the shape. So we're going to make this size 4 by 6, but make sure you unlink it, okay? You go to unlink it right up here, clicking that little lock button, and we're going to change the width to 6 by 4 because remember our sticker sheet is now laying horizontal. So let's change that up, boop, just like that. But put this at 0 on the X axis and Y on the Y axis to make sure, oops, I didn't do it right, but to make sure that it's on the right part. There we go. And now it's overlaying the whole sticker sheet. Now I have never like really brought in this shape, made it smaller so I wouldn't have these cut lines, to see this white edge. Usually I'll trim it up. Sometimes it doesn't bother me because they are going to throw it away. But if you want a crisp line, basically what you need to do is make sure this overlaying shape, which will be cut out using your Cricut, is slightly smaller. but first you have to make sure that you have locked the size in. So I'm going to lock it back in place because we've already distorted it. I'm going to make sure it's 6 by 4, and then I'm going to actually bring it in just a smidge so you can actually see the pink line. For me, it's pink, right? And that way, when it cuts, we're not going to see this part right here. Also, while you're here, make sure you also have a little bit showing through on the outer edge of both sides. Now let's bring up our sticker designs all the way to the top, including the actual designs, and then underneath that, put the shape of your your background there, right? And then we have all of the square shapes here, okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to select these stickers, hold down the shift button and click on that, and the backgrounder, hold down the shift button and click on that so you have both of them. And we're going to this button down here to click attach. All right, you're going to do the same with the squares, so hold down and select all of them and attach. We're going to move that one above here so you can see the stickers and then the squares, okay, or rectangles. We're almost there. Now what you need to do is select both of these. You're going to copy them. So I'm doing Command C and Command V. I'm going to make another set. I don't have to do this twice. It's already doing it for me. I'm going to drag this down a bit, but keeping it to the edge on this side. Drag the whole thing and get it to, is this a safe spot? I feel like this is good. As long as I have a little bit of space here, we're good. So 8.5 is probably a good spot for me. Before we send it over to the Cricut to cut and print and cut, we're going to make sure we open all of these files underneath. You see how the little arrows to here and arrows to here? We need to make sure that this attached square rectangle shapes is inside this sticker file, okay? So it's underneath in this like subcategory sort of thing. That way the Cricut knows to attach and cut in the right locations. Okay, so we have under this one has the shapes and under this one has the other shapes. So you see how it's indented in? That's what I did. I just kind of dragged it and put it underneath this part so it knows to cut those pieces. Now we can click on Make. Now you're going to see a mock-up of the Cricut cutting board, okay? You're going to see that your space is no longer there, but it's not overlapping, and we're going to actually drag this one down just a bit. As long as it's within this red border line right here, you're good. I always like to bring it further this way down because it kind of gives it a bit more room in case this starts to buckle when it cuts. It just, oops, it's just a little bit safer for you, okay? And now I'm going to click on continue. This is where you're going to want to pull out your sticker sheet paper. I am upcycling some old label paper that I no longer use, so it's actually U-lined. I'm going to put it in my printer and then I'm going to send it to the printer. The reason why I use this for my paper stickers is because it works just the same and I'm not wasting. I bought way too many of these. I now have a thermal printer for my shipping labels and I have thousands of these things. So I'd rather use it for something and it not waste. Click on send to printer and you can see everything is separated right. This is just a kind of close up of here's where the corner is for the Cricut to read. It's not distorting your image. Click on next and now you're going to select the correct printer. For me, I have a few. So I got this Epson XP, that's what we want. And I want to make a few copies of this. So I'm going to make 12. So this is 6 copies, but each has 2, right? We can do math. Here they all are. Make sure they printed right. They look good to me. Those black lines are going to be for the Cricut to read. Yep, looks like we're good to go. Okay, so I'm going to plug in my Cricut to my computer, and this is where I'm going to turn on my Cricut. So I'm going to close this slightly, hit my on button. Wake up, my friend. And it's going to say restart my machine. Just hit OK and then refresh. So it's going to look for it right now. Maybe. Yes, there it is. See how I hit refresh? And now it's going to pull up all these settings. All right, I'm going to use the copy paper setting here. If you don't have it listed, which you probably don't, you're going to browse all materials and you can type in the search copy paper just like so. and it will pull up the 20 pounder. Okay, that's the lightest I have, and that's what we're going to be using. So you can actually save that one, click on it, and the pressure has always been too much for me, even on default. So I put it on less pressure, and we're going to simply send it after we load our paper on the thing. So hold on, we got to do that too. So while that's ready to go, I'm gonna lay down my labels, my sticker paper here, all the way to the edge on the lines. Ignore how dirty my mat is. I probably need a new one, and I probably need, even though it says light grip, this one's quite sticky. Make sure you really roll down the paper so it's really on there and it doesn't pull up during the cutting process. Okay, we're gonna load it in here. So I'm gonna put it between these 2 points and really make sure that it's secured to the left, and click on this little up and down arrow that keeps flashing. It's gonna pull in your sticker sheets, your designs, everything on the cutting board on over. Right now it's going to measure the mat and make sure everything's good to go. So while this goes, it's gonna read all these black lines that you're not going to see. This is just a guide. Okay, so it's got it lined up. We're going to hit the play button. Play! And just like that, it's going to go through the whole thing, make a lot of noise, do a lot of cuts. So let me tell you something as it's cutting. So what the machine is going to do first is it's going to cut out all these sticker designs first. And because we only had it basically put on our file once, it is only going to cut around it once, okay, with that less pressure that we have already indicated that machine to do. For the outside, when it gets to the outer side of your actual sticker sheet, it's going to cut around that rectangle, rounded rectangle one 4 times. It may cut it out 5 times because of the square around what we originally had, but the 4 times around with the rounded corners is what's going to happen. All right, now it's done. We're gonna hit the little up and down arrow, pull it out, and we're pulling off all that extra bits that came off during the process. As you can see here, it has rounded edges, and this is the point where we test it all. I use my little, I call it a scooping tool. So I'm gonna lift up the edge here, because like I said, my mat's a little bit stickier than others. I'm gonna slowly peel, and you can see those sticker sheets have fully rounded corners. So I'm going to peel up the sides so I just don't break anything, kind of lift it off the board, and voila. There you have it, your rounded sticker sheets. Say you want to make another, simply load up your board once again and roll your Cricut roller on top to really put it together. Don't exit out of what you have up there on the files, okay? Just a second. You can actually slide this back in place, but you have to go back to your computer. All right, we haven't exited out. We're still within the Cricut design space. We're gonna click on copy paper again. We're going to reset the pressure back to less, and then we are going to go back over here and hit that. And just to show you, the cuts on the outside are nice and crisp. We don't have any white edges, and the stickers actually come up just as easily. So it worked. All you need to do is have the stickers themselves go through one pass ultimately, and it comes up. There's no sticking. This what do they call it, calibration, the specifics that I gave you for this sticker paper might work a little different with other sticker papers. Again, I'm using label paper. It labels sheets, and it works wonderfully for the paper stickers. These are going in planners. They're not vinyl. If you add vinyl, the calibrations are going to be different. So just check those out. And if you have any questions, if you like this tutorial, please let me know. If you want me to do more of this stuff, because I do a lot of stuff in-house now, and I love sharing my process to help out. All right, I'll see you next time here at Sey Studios. Don't forget to smile and subscribe.